Picture this. It's a Tuesday morning, and 73-year-old Margaret is sitting in her cardiologist's office, hands trembling slightly as she waits for her test results. She's been experiencing chest discomfort, shortness of breath during her morning walks, and that nagging worry that something isn't quite right. When the doctor walks in with her test results, Margaret braces herself for the worst. "Margaret," the doctor says, looking at the screen, "your arterial plaque has actually decreased significantly since your last visit 6 months ago." Margaret's eyes widen. Decreased? But how? I thought once you had plaque buildup, it was permanent. I thought it only got worse with age. The doctor smiles. "That's what many people believe. But Margaret, what you've been doing, the simple changes we discussed, they're working. Your arteries are actually getting cleaner." Now, I know what you're thinking. You've probably heard your whole life that arterial plaque is like a one-way street. It only accumulates, never reverses. You might believe that once those arteries start clogging up, you're stuck with dangerous blockages for life. But here's the truth that the medical community has known for years but hasn't always communicated clearly. Arterial plaque can be reversed, and it doesn't require anything extreme or impossible. In fact, the method I'm about to reveal is so straightforward that when I share it with my patients over 70, many of them actually laugh and say, "That's it? That's the secret?" Yes, that's it. But don't let the simplicity fool you. This approach is backed by solid science, real clinical studies, and thousands of success stories from people just like you. Hello, wonderful friends, and welcome back to Doctor's Hidden Tips channel. If you're new here, welcome to our community of health-conscious individuals who believe that age is just a number and that it's never too late to take control of your health. I'm absolutely thrilled you've decided to join us today, because what we're about to discuss could genuinely change your life, or perhaps even save it. Now, before we dive into today's incredible topic, let me take just a moment to say how grateful I am for every one of you. This channel exists because of people like you, people who refuse to accept that getting older means giving up on health, vitality, and living life to the fullest. You inspire me every single day with your questions, your comments, and your determination to stay healthy and active well into your golden years. Today's video is particularly special because we're tackling something that terrifies millions of people over 70, over 65, and even those in their 60s, arterial plaque buildup. But here's the amazing news. What I'm about to share with you isn't some complicated medical procedure or expensive treatment. It's something so simple, so accessible, that when I first learned about it from leading cardiologists, I was honestly shocked, and I think you will be too. So please, get comfortable, maybe grab a cup of tea or coffee, and let's spend the next few minutes together exploring how you can actually reverse arterial plaque faster than you ever imagined possible. And don't forget, if you find this information valuable, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our health tips for seniors. Trust me, what comes next could be the most important information you hear all year. Opening hook, the shocking truth. Section 1. Understanding the enemy. Before we talk about the solution, we need to understand what we're dealing with. Think of your arteries as highways, beautiful, smooth highways that allow blood to flow freely throughout your body, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every single cell. Now, imagine that over the years, debris starts accumulating on these highways. That debris is arterial plaque. Arterial plaque is essentially a buildup of cholesterol, fats, calcium, and other substances found in your blood. When these substances accumulate on the inner walls of your arteries, they form hard deposits that narrow the passageway and make it harder for blood to flow through. It's like trying to drink a thick milkshake through a narrow straw versus a wide straw. The narrower the opening, the harder your heart has to work. Now, here's what's particularly concerning for those of us over 60, over 65, and especially over 70. This plaque doesn't just sit there quietly. It can rupture, causing blood clots that lead to heart attacks or strokes. According to the American Heart Association, cardiovascular disease remains the #1 killer of adults in the United States, and arterial plaque is a major contributor. But, and this is crucial, your arteries are not static, unchanging structures. They're dynamic, living tissue that can heal, repair, and regenerate under the right conditions. Think about it this way. If you cut your finger, your body knows how to heal that wound. arteries have similar healing capabilities. The plaque that took years to build up can actually be broken down, dissolved, and removed by your body's own natural processes. We just need to activate and support those processes. Section 2. The #1 method revealed. All right, friends, here it comes. The moment you've been waiting for. The #1 method for reversing arterial plaque, according to leading cardiologists and backed by decades of research, is something called a plant-based whole food dietary approach combined with strategic lifestyle modifications. Now, before you click away thinking, oh no, another diet video, hear me out. This isn't about deprivation. This isn't about eating bland, boring food for the rest of your life. This is about giving your body the specific nutrients it needs to literally clean out your arteries from the inside. Dr. Caldwell Estelson, a renowned physician and researcher at the Cleveland Clinic, conducted groundbreaking studies that proved beyond any age that severe coronary artery disease could not only be stopped but also reversed through nutrition alone. His patients, many of whom were over 65 and had been told they needed bypass surgery or stents, were able to clear their arteries significantly through dietary changes alone. Let me break down exactly what this means in practical terms. The core principle: when you eliminate or dramatically reduce foods that contribute to plaque formation and instead consume foods that actively help break down existing plaque, your body begins a natural cleaning process. It's like switching from throwing trash into a river to actively installing filtration systems that clean the water. The foods that contribute most to arterial plaque are high in saturated fats, trans fats, and dietary cholesterol. These include red meat, processed meats, full-fat dairy products, fried foods, and heavily processed snacks. When you consume these foods regularly, your liver produces more cholesterol, and that cholesterol gets deposited in your arterial walls. On the flip side, certain foods have almost magical properties when it comes to arterial health. Foods rich in soluble fiber, like oats, beans, lentils, apples, and berries, actually bind to cholesterol in your digestive system and escort it out of your body before it can cause problems. Foods high in antioxidants, like dark leafy greens, colorful vegetables, and fruits, combat the oxidation process that makes cholesterol stick to artery walls in the first place. Here's where it gets really exciting. Foods rich in nitric oxide boosters, like beets, leafy greens, and citrus fruits, help your blood vessels relax and dilate, improving blood flow immediately, while also supporting the long-term reversal of plaque buildup. Section 3. The practical game plan. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds great in theory, but I'm 73 years old. I've been eating a certain way my entire life. How am I supposed to change now? I hear you, and that's a completely valid concern. But here's the beautiful thing. You don't have to become perfect overnight. In fact, trying to change everything at once is usually a recipe for failure. Instead, I want you to think about this as a gradual transformation, a journey rather than a destination. Let me share with you the exact step-by-step approach I recommend to my senior patients. And please remember, always consult with your own healthcare provider before making significant dietary changes, especially if you're taking medications or have existing health conditions. Week 1, the foundation phase. Start by adding before you subtract. This is crucial. Don't focus on what you're giving up. Focus on what you're adding. Every morning, start your day with a bowl of oatmeal topped with berries and ground flaxseed. That's it. Just add this one habit. The oatmeal provides soluble fiber that grabs cholesterol, the berries provide antioxidants, and the flaxseed offers omega-3 fatty acids that reduce inflammation in your arterial walls. I had a patient named Robert, 76 years old, a former construction worker, lifelong meat and potatoes guy. When I first suggested dietary changes, he literally laughed in my face. "Doc," he said, "I'm too old to eat rabbit food." But he agreed to try just the oatmeal breakfast for 1 week. Know what happened? By day 4, he noticed he wasn't experiencing his usual mid-morning energy crash. His wife noticed he seemed more alert. That small win gave him the motivation to keep going. Week 2, the lunch transformation. Now we're going to tackle lunch. The goal here is to make at least 1 meal per day completely plant-based. Think big, colorful salads with lots of vegetables, beans for protein, and a simple dressing made from balsamic vinegar and a small amount of olive oil. Or try vegetable-based soups, lentil soup, split pea soup, minestrone loaded with vegetables. Here's the secret that makes this easier. Preparation is everything. If you spend 1 hour on Sunday afternoon preparing vegetables, washing lettuce, chopping carrots, cooking a big pot of beans, you'll have grab-and-go components ready all week. At 70+ years old, you deserve to make things easy on yourself. Week 3 and 4, the full integration. By now, you've got breakfast and lunch working for you. Dinner might still include some animal products if you choose, but try to make them the side dish rather than the main event. Instead of an 8-ounce steak with a side of broccoli, flip it. Have a large portion of roasted vegetables, a hearty serving of brown rice or quinoa, and if you want, a small portion of fish or chicken on the side. But here's what's truly remarkable. Many of my patients find that by week 3 or 4, they actually start craving these healthier foods. Your taste buds adapt faster than you'd think. Foods that seemed bland at first suddenly burst with flavor. That's because you're reducing salt, sugar, and heavy fats that were masking the natural tastes of real food. Section 4. The supporting strategies. Now, while nutrition is the #1 method for reversing arterial plaque, it's not the only tool in our arsenal. Think of nutrition as the star player on your health team, but every star needs a good supporting cast. Movement, the circulation booster. You don't need to run marathons or spend hours at the gym. What you need is consistent, moderate movement that gets your blood flowing. For most people over 70, a 30-minute walk 5 days a week is absolutely sufficient. When you walk, your heart pumps more blood, and that increased blood flow helps carry away plaque-building substances while delivering the nutrients your arterial walls need. I had a patient named Eleanor, 81 years old, a poster boy woman. She insisted she was too old and too tired to exercise. I asked her, "Eleanor, can you walk to your mailbox?" She said yes. "Can you walk around your house?" "Yes." "Okay, so let's just start there. Walk to the mailbox and back once a day for a week." That simple act, just walking to the mailbox daily, got her moving. The next week, we added a walk around the block. Within 2 months, Eleanor was walking 30 minutes a day and joined a senior walking group at her local community center. She made new friends, felt more energetic, and her cardiovascular health improved measurably. The beauty of walking is that it's free, requires no special equipment beyond comfortable shoes, and can be done almost anywhere. If the weather is an issue, walk inside a shopping mall before stores open. Many malls have early morning walking programs specifically for seniors. Stress management, the silent healer. Here's something many people don't realize. Chronic stress contributes significantly to arterial plaque formation. When you're stressed, your body releases hormones like cortisol and adrenaline that increase inflammation throughout your cardiovascular system. That inflammation makes it easier for plaque to form and harder for your body to clear existing plaque. So what's the solution? Find what calms you. For some people, it's meditation or prayer. For others, it's gardening, reading, or spending time with grandchildren. The specific activity doesn't matter as much as the fact that you're regularly engaging in something that brings you peace and joy. One of my patients, George, who's 74, discovered that his stress relief came from woodworking. Every afternoon, he'd spend an hour in his garage workshop, carefully crafting small furniture pieces and birdhouses. He found it meditative. His blood pressure dropped, his sleep improved, and follow-up tests showed his arterial health was improving steadily. Sleep, the overnight repair system. Your body does its deepest healing work while you sleep. During those precious hours of rest, your cardiovascular system undergoes repair and maintenance. Poor sleep quality or insufficient sleep duration has been directly linked to increased arterial plaque formation. Most adults over 70 need 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep per night. If you're having trouble sleeping, consider these senior-friendly strategies. Keep your bedroom cool and dark, avoid screens for an hour before bed, establish a consistent bedtime routine, and avoid large meals close to bed.
Now, I don't expect you to take my word for all of this. Let's talk about the actual science, because the evidence for plaque reversal is absolutely compelling. The Lifestyle Heart Trial, conducted by Dr. Dean Ornish, followed patients with severe coronary artery disease. One group made comprehensive lifestyle changes, including a plant-based diet, while the control group followed standard medical advice. After 1 year, the lifestyle change group showed actual reversal of arterial blockages. Their arteries were measurably clearer. The control group, meanwhile, showed continued progression of their disease. Even more impressive, after 5 years, the lifestyle group continued to show improvement, while the control group continued to decline. This wasn't just about stopping the disease, it was about actually reversing damage that many doctors considered permanent. Another landmark study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association followed over 73,000 participants and found that those who adopted a healthy plant-based diet reduced their risk of heart disease by 25%. But here's the kicker. This protective effect was seen regardless of when people adopted these habits. Even people who changed their diets in their 60s and 70s saw significant benefits. A 2019 study in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that for every 10% increase in plant-based foods in someone's diet, their risk of cardiovascular disease decreased by 9%, and their risk of dying from cardiovascular disease decreased by 12%. These aren't small numbers. These are life-changing, life-extending statistics. Section 6. Addressing Common Concerns. I know some of you have questions and concerns swimming around in your heads right now, so let me address the most common ones I hear from my patients over 70. What about protein? Won't I become weak? This is probably the biggest concern I hear, and it's completely understandable. We've been told our whole lives that we need meat for strength. But here's the truth. Plant-based foods provide plenty of protein. Beans, lentils, tofu, tempeh, quinoa, nuts, and seeds all offer excellent protein. A cup of cooked lentils has 18 grams of protein. A cup of chickpeas has 15 grams. These aren't tiny amounts. Moreover, plant proteins come packaged with fiber, antioxidants, and beneficial compounds that animal proteins simply don't offer. You get the protein you need, plus a bonus package of arterial health-boosting nutrients. I'm on multiple medications. Will this interfere? This is exactly why you must work with your healthcare provider. Here's what often happens. As your arterial health improves and your cholesterol drops, your doctor may need to adjust your medications. Some patients find they can reduce or even eliminate certain medications under their doctor's supervision. This is a good thing, but it must be monitored professionally. Never change or stop medications on your own. What if I slip up? What if I eat something bad? First, let's reframe this. There are no bad foods. There are simply foods that help your arterial health and foods that don't. Second, perfection is not the goal. Consistency is. If you're eating a plant-based, whole food diet 80 to 90% of the time, you're doing fantastic. If you attend your grandson's birthday party and have a slice of cake, that's absolutely fine. Life is meant to be lived and enjoyed. The goal isn't to create a prison of dietary rules, it's to establish a pattern of eating that supports your health while still allowing for flexibility and joy. I live alone and don't like cooking. How can I make this work? This is a very practical concern, especially for seniors who may have lost a spouse or simply never enjoyed cooking. Here's my advice. Keep it incredibly simple. You don't need fancy recipes. A baked sweet potato, some steamed broccoli, and a can of beans makes a perfectly healthy, artery-friendly meal. It takes 15 minutes to prepare and requires minimal cooking skills. Also, consider batch cooking. Make a big pot of vegetable soup or chili on Sunday, portion it into containers, and you've got ready-made meals for most of the week. Many grocery stores now offer pre-cut vegetables and pre-cooked grains that make healthy eating even easier. Section 7. Real stories, real results. Let me share a few more stories from real people who've experienced the power of arterial plaque reversal, because sometimes hearing about others' success is the motivation we need to start our own journey. Martin was 72 when his cardiologist told him he needed a triple bypass surgery. His arteries were severely blocked, and conventional medical wisdom said surgery was his only option. But Martin was terrified of surgery. He'd seen friends go through it, and the recovery seemed brutal. He asked his doctor if there was any alternative. His doctor, somewhat skeptically, mentioned Dr. Esselstyn's program. It's extreme, but some people have had success. Martin figured he'd rather try extreme diet changes than undergo extreme surgery. He dove in head first, eliminated all animal products, ate tons of vegetables, beans, whole grains, and fruits. 3 months later, Martin went back for follow-up tests. His cholesterol had dropped from 240 to 150. 6 months later, more tests showed his arterial blockages had reduced slightly. A year later, the improvement was undeniable. 2 years later, Martin's cardiologist said, "I don't know how else to explain this except to say your arteries look like they belong to someone 20 years younger." Then there's Patricia, 68 years old, who had 2 stents placed in her arteries 3 years ago. She was on 5 different medications, but still experienced chest pain during exertion. Her quality of life was diminishing, and she was depressed, feeling like her best years were behind her. Patricia started with small changes. She didn't overhaul everything overnight. She added more vegetables to her plate. She switched from beef to fish, then from fish to plant proteins. She started walking her neighbor's dog 3 times a week because her neighbor had broken her hip. Within 6 months, Patricia realized she hadn't had chest pain in weeks. Her energy improved. She felt hopeful. Her cardiologist was amazed at her progress. While the stents remained, the rest of her arterial system was showing remarkable improvement. "Keep doing whatever you're doing," her doctor said. Patricia kept going, and 3 years later, at 71, she's more active and healthier than she was at 65. These aren't miracle stories. They're examples of what happens when you give your body the right tools to heal itself. Section 8. The Mindset Shift. Here's something crucial that I don't want you to miss. Reversing arterial plaque isn't just about changing what you eat or how you move. It's about changing how you think about your health and aging. Our culture has conditioned us to believe that decline is inevitable after 60, that deteriorating health is just part of getting older. We're told to accept increasing limitations, more medications, and less vitality. But that's simply not true. Yes, aging brings changes, but how we age is largely within our control. Every single day, with every meal you eat, every walk you take, every moment of stress you manage, you're making a choice. You're either contributing to plaque buildup or contributing to plaque reversal. You're either aging in a way that leads to decline or aging in a way that maintains vitality. This isn't about adding years to your life, although that's certainly a benefit. It's about adding life to your years. It's about being the 75-year-old who can keep up with grandchildren. It's about being the 80-year-old who still travels, gardens, and engages fully with life. It's about maintaining your independence, your dignity, and your joy. One of my favorite patients, Dorothy, who just turned 82, said something profound during one of our appointments. "I used to think that taking care of my health was selfish, that I should just accept whatever happened and not make a fuss. But then I realized that staying healthy is actually the most generous thing I can do. When I'm healthy, I can help others. I can be there for my family. I can contribute to my community. Taking care of myself allows me to keep giving to the world." Dorothy's perspective is exactly right. Your health isn't just about you, it's about everyone you love and everyone who loves you.
So here's what I'd like to propose. Give your arteries 30 days. That's all I'm asking. Just 30 days of truly committing to the principles we've discussed. 30 days of eating more plants and fewer animal products. 30 days of walking most days. 30 days of managing stress and prioritizing sleep. Why 30 days? Because that's usually how long it takes for new habits to start feeling normal. That's how long it takes for your taste buds to adapt. That's how long it takes to start seeing and feeling results. Lower blood pressure, more energy, better sleep, clearer thinking. Keep a simple journal during these 30 days. Each evening, jot down what you ate, how much you moved, and how you felt. Note any changes, positive or negative.
This isn't about judgment, it's about observation. You're conducting a personal experiment to see how your body responds. I've seen this 30-day approach work for hundreds of patients. When people commit fully for just 1 month, they almost always want to continue because they feel so much better. The abstract concept of reversing arterial plaque becomes concrete when you're sleeping better, breathing easier, and feeling more energetic. Section 10. Working with your healthcare team. One critical point I want to emphasize. Please work with your healthcare providers throughout this process. Show them this video if you'd like. Discuss these dietary and lifestyle changes with your doctor. Get baseline blood work done. Total cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, triglycerides, blood pressure, and if possible, advanced lipid testing. Then, after 60 to 90 days of following these principles, get tested again. The numbers will tell the story. Most likely, you'll see your LDL cholesterol drop, your HDL cholesterol improve, your triglycerides decrease, and your blood pressure normalize. These measurable improvements are incredibly motivating. Some healthcare providers are very supportive of plant-based nutrition for cardiovascular health. Others may be skeptical because it wasn't part of their medical training. If your doctor is dismissive, but you want to try this approach, consider seeking a second opinion from a physician who specializes in lifestyle medicine or preventative cardiology. You deserve a healthcare team that supports your goals and works with you, not against you. Conclusion: your invitation to transformation. My dear friends, we've covered so much ground today, and I'm genuinely proud of you for sticking with me through this entire video. The fact that you're still watching tells me something important about you. You're serious about your health, you're willing to learn, you're open to change, and those qualities, more than anything else, will determine your success. Let's recap the key points because they're so important. First, arterial plaque can absolutely be reversed, even over 70. This isn't theory, it's proven medical fact backed by decades of research and thousands of success stories. Second, the #1 method is a plant-based, whole-food dietary approach that eliminates or dramatically reduces animal products and processed foods while emphasizing vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. This isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. Third, support your dietary changes with regular movement, stress management, and quality sleep. These aren't optional extras, they're essential components of cardiovascular healing. Fourth, work with your healthcare team, get tested regularly, and track your progress. Nothing motivates like seeing actual improvement in your numbers. And fifth, perhaps most importantly, adopt the mindset that you have the power to influence your health outcomes. You're not a passive victim of aging, you're an active participant in your health journey. I want to leave you with this thought. It's never too late. I don't care if you're 65, 75, or 85. I don't care if you've eaten unhealthy food your entire life. I don't care if you've never exercised. Your body's healing capacity doesn't come with an expiration date. The moment you start giving your body what it needs, it begins to heal. Remember Margaret from the beginning of this video? She's a real patient of mine, and she's now 75 years old. Her arteries are cleaner, her energy is higher. She's living proof that the simple method we discussed today works. You can be the next success story. You can be the person who inspires others. You can be the 80-year-old who amazes people with your vitality and health. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. It helps us reach more people who need this information. Subscribe to Doctor's Hidden Tips channel and click the notification bell so you never miss our health tips for seniors. We're here every week with advice for seniors, winter wellness tips for seniors, healthcare tips for seniors, and so much more. Drop a comment below and let me know, are you going to try the 30-day challenge? What's your biggest concern about making these changes? What questions do you have? I read every comment, and your questions often inspire future videos. Share this video with someone you love who might benefit from this information. Your sharing could literally save someone's life. And remember, your arteries, your heart, and your health are worth fighting for. You're worth fighting for. At any age, you deserve to feel vibrant, strong, and alive. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I'll see you in the next video where we'll continue exploring how to live your healthiest, happiest life after 60, after 65, and beyond. Until then, take care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves, and remember, the best time to start improving your health was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. I'm sending you all my best wishes for health and happiness. This is Doctor's Hidden Tips channel, reminding you that age is just a number, but health is a choice. See you next time, friends.